Hi everyone, it's Dr. Ramani. Welcome back to this YouTube channel on narcissism, narcissistic relationships, and healing from narcissistic relationships. How many of you sit around and say, oh no, I think I'm the one who has NPD? Let's break that down. So a lot of folks going through narcissistic relationships sit around and say, I think I have NPD. I have such bad thoughts about these people in my life. Maybe I'm just the same. Here's my answer to that. You don't have NPD. In fact, it seems that nobody has NPD since the epidemiology statistics suggest that it's less than 3% of the population. So I'm going to tell you now, it's a really safe bet that you do not have NPD. But the question is, why do you think you do? Lots of folks will glom onto one trait. They might say, oh, I think I'm narcissistic. I got really mad at the guy working at the pharmacy and I was rude because I had to wait 45 minutes. Or I wasn't being empathic when my friend talked to me about her breakup for the 100th time. Or I was hoping people would like the Instagram picture I posted of the cheesecake I made and I was really worried about it. Ugh, I think I'm narcissistic. Or I kind of stepped up at work. I know I'm kind of smarter than this colleague of mine, and I told my boss that I should be promoted. I'm like, ooh, that's a little arrogant. Maybe I'm narcissistic. So let me frame it out this way. Unless you are rude at everyone, not just in the pharmacy, but everywhere you go when you don't get your way, or you don't listen to anyone in your life when they share feelings with you, or you spend lots of time focused on your social media likes and become angry when they don't come, or you walk around saying that you know more than you do, the other stuff, doing it once, that's normal. It certainly doesn't mean you have NPD. Now, what's so challenging about narcissistic relationships is that you find yourself having lots of thoughts in the relationship that really aren't you. You might, over time, find yourself really disliking a person you're supposed to like a friend or a partner. You feel disloyal, having such feelings like feeling such awful things about a parent. You hope your narcissistic colleague gets fired, you never have to see them again. You wish your narcissistic cousin would just disappear and move to the other side of the country. I mean, you aren't harming these people. You aren't even necessarily ending your relationships. But you may be plagued by thoughts that feel cold, disloyal, dismissive, unfriendly, unkind, and not nice. But you have these thoughts because these people have been treating you badly in the relationship for a long time. It's constant invalidation and confusion and pain with some good days peppered in there. Your life, though, by and large, has been made difficult by this person. You're hurt by this person. You've already spent so much time defending their behavior, but those dark thoughts get into your head, and they do not feel good. So that can also be drivers of thinking you have NPD because your thoughts feel as bad as the narcissistic person's behavior. But isn't it normal to have unpleasant thoughts about unpleasant situations or unpleasant people? I'm here to tell you that, yeah, it is. But I do think that the reason so many survivors of narcissistic abuse live in the abject fear that they have NPD is because they're told that they do by a person who actually is narcissistic. So the first time that they get boundaries in the relationship, or they disengage a little bit, or they express their needs, boom, you're told you have NPD. Better go see a therapist and get it worked out. And because while you are in a narcissistic relationship, you are so impressionable, their assertion that you're narcissistic is believable. You actually do believe that you may have NPD because you are too gaslighted to fully touch the reality of the situation. The self-blame of survivorship means that you are far more likely to blame yourself. And even if you do try to climb out of it by doing very basic things like asking for your needs to be met or basic need to be met, or things like, that in the anything basic in the relationship, they will shut it down, and they will shut it down in a way that hurts. I sometimes wonder if narcissistic people are like the internet, always data mining and listening. And while it doesn't seem they're listening, your phone isn't listening to you, is it? Because they don't seem to register it or care when you are talking to them, they sure do seem to be able to use the information they learn about you to their benefit. So just like when you talk to your friend about how much you love going to the beach, and then the next time you open up your whatever, social media or your search engine or whatever, it's populated by beach hotels and flip-flop ads? Or you browse just one website for an electric blanket, and now you're not only looking at ads for blankets, but also assistive devices to get out of the tub? Or maybe that was just me. But that they're aware. The narcissistic people are aware at some level that maybe you're hinting at the narcissism thing. So just as you start trying to hold some space and autonomy in the relationship, bam, they hit you with, I guess you have NPD. When you start researching whether you have NPD, you run the risk of what has long been called medical student syndrome. You keep studying various diseases and become convinced that you have them. By the time most of us were done with graduate school, we were convinced we had any number of psychiatric conditions. I actually prefer thinking that just about nobody, frankly, has NPD, because most therapists will never assign the diagnosis. It's better to just talk about the personality style. I've been very clear about that on this channel. So unless you are watching this video and are copying to saying, yeah, I don't have a lot of empathy for other people, I'm very transactional, I'm very contemptuous of the emotions of other people, my identity is built on what other people think of me, I'm arrogant, entitled, grandiose, I constantly need validation and admiration, and I get dysregulated when I don't get my way, and can be manipulative when I don't get my way, or take advantage of people and have no ability to have sustained, healthy, close relationships. If that's your groove, you really genuinely believe that's what you're about, then maybe you should go look into it. Otherwise, my guess is that the difficult, antagonistic, or narcissistic person or the narcissistic abuse has gotten into your head. You are riddled with self-blame and self-doubt, and may even be being told that this is who you are by the narcissistic person. So maybe of the people who end up watching this video, maybe one of the thousands of people who watch this video has NPD. But I'm going with the strong likelihood that the many other thousands, probably not. You're probably too agreeable for your own good, and open enough to hear other people's distorted and gaslighted descriptions and depictions of you. So I know you think you got NPD. I've given you the list. Sit with it, dig into it. But thinking bad thoughts does not a narcissist make. Thanks again.